Just another minute or so. Make sure everyone has an opportunity to join, everybody who wants to be here. And everyone is certainly encouraged to use their video if they can. If you are not able to, it's all right. But if you can, especially if you plan to join for the full meditation session, it's really nice if you can share your video, and that it can kind of help keep you to stay with the practice for the full period of time. Just in the same way that if you were to, go and visit a temple or a meditation center, something like that, you're not going to get up and leave the room the moment that you feel less than, blissful. You're there for a reason, and the environment or that feeling of really being there and being seen kind of keeps you there, and that's good. And so when we use our cameras, when we share where we're coming from at this moment, we can also feel that, keep us in our seats and keep us practicing. All right, so welcome, my strudel. Good to see you. Good to see you, Kevin and Stephanie. And we've got Ezra here, and Mickey, Solarolo, Lucy, Aziz, Eddie. Everybody's here. This is great. So is anyone completely new to meditation? Is anyone very experienced with meditation? Empty, empty, silent, nothing. So whatever you, what'd you say?
I am.
Okay, thank you, PBR. So PBR is experienced. So we are gathering together today for a clear and simple purpose, a sincere purpose, and that is to practice meditation. Meditation is not a vague idea of doing something spiritual. Meditation is not an exercise that we do to get some result. It's certainly not complicated. Meditation doesn't rely on belief. It doesn't rely on faith. You have to have a certain degree of faith or trust or interest to practice and to keep practicing. Otherwise, you immediately give up, right? You're not really willing to put forth the degree of effort that is necessary to develop in your practice unless you have this kind of trust or this faith that by getting involved in living your life, taking responsibility for your life, facing your life, that there are certain beneficial changes that will take place. In the same way that you have a trust or a faith that when you start to regularly go for walks, or when you start to regularly go for a jog or physical exercises, it's going to affect your body, your cardiovascular health in a meaningful way. So meditation is the same for the mind. But we don't go for a walk and then expect our heart rate to have changed in some, like our average regular heart rate to have changed, or our cholesterol to have gone down, or our, kind of, we went for a walk today and now we can go for a marathon tomorrow. We don't expect that. And it's important that we don't expect that, because if we do have that level of expectation about getting involved in physical fitness or doing something as simple as going for a walk, we're going to immediately be discouraged. because going for a walk doesn't prepare you to go for a marathon, to run a marathon. Walking regularly every day, jogging regularly every day, running regularly prepares you for a marathon. So here we are coming together to prepare and also to practice facing and being with what is happening right now. This is the primary mode of operation that we are practicing, getting involved with in meditation. And we can say that it's kind of a full spectrum activity in that we need concentration, we need relaxation, we need sincerity, we need gentleness, we need a sense of urgency or an energy, a kind of to really get involved, to really show up. It can't be something that we do sleepily. So meditation brings our whole life, our whole mind to here at this present moment. And here at this present moment is the only time, the only place where we can take responsibility for our life, for cause and effect. It's the only time when we can really take care of and learn more deeply about who we are, how the mind works, how we react to our experiences moment by moment on a more and more subtle way as we get deeper into our meditation practice. So it's an exercise. And this exercise begins with intention. So you have to have a clear intention of why are you here? Why are you interested in meditation? You know, why do you want to meditate and why are you here? So you can take a moment to ask this kind of question to yourself. Why are you here? Why are you interested in meditation? What is your purpose in being here and practicing meditation? So, in asking that, you might find an empty mind, but certainly there are similar values that we all share, right? Well, we want to be happy. We want to be at peace. We want to be more based. We want to be more chill. We want to know about our life. We want to know about who we are. We want to know about the truth. And where better to find the truth than in this moment, in this direct experience that's happening right now. And meditation is a way of touching more and more clearly and precisely, touching that right here and right now, this moment as it is. All right? So, with this intention to practice meditation, the first thing that we need to do is detach from the outside world. We need to give up and let go of the outside world. So, how do we do that? Well, we put the body down. It's just like when we go to sleep, right? How do we take that really wonderful, good rest, healing rest, and then we're ready to deal with whatever afterwards? We put the body down. But in this case, we are not putting the body down to get rid of it. We're not putting the body down to enter into a state of no longer being awake and aware. But instead, we are putting the body down to more clearly be aware of what's
So
happening.
you keep freezing for me. I don't know if anybody else audio is freezing.
Audio is freezing. Anyone else? Audio coming in and out? Okay, hold on one sec. I will try to fix it.
Yeah, it's frozen for me too.
And me too.
Having a few technical difficulties here, so one moment. Okay, we having a few technical issues, but I think they can quickly be resolved, hopefully. Let's see. Hello? Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Okay.
welcome back.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you for informing me about the connection issues. These kinds of things happen. And it brings up a simple and clear point. Our monkey mind, our constant focus on getting pleasurable experiences and avoiding unpleasant experiences is just dying, begging to not do meditation or to continue its habitual. Still happening? My microphone going out again?
You're like, I think you're quitting out.
Yeah.
Well,
It might be your.
It might help to turn your video off. Sometimes that helps because the bandwidth is less. Sometimes.
okay, well let's try to continue. Hope for the best. So we're looking for any excuse, any reason to give up our meditation practice. We have a lot of momentum that is going towards desiring things and trying to avoid things. So trying to get what we want and get rid of what we don't want. So when we practice meditation, the most important faculty of mind that we need to have is this willingness to continue restarting and refreshing, this willingness to come back to the beginning. And this beginning is constantly coming up, right? The current heartbeat that is happening right now is what is sustaining your life. You can't say, oh, my heart has beated, so many times, now it's going to take a break because I think that the past is more interesting or the future that I'd like to have is more interesting. I want to get something. I want to avoid something. So we need to be willing and able to face and be with this direct experience that is always happening in the present. It doesn't exist in the past. It doesn't exist in the future. And that means that we need to be willing and able to restart and refresh, to rely on what's happening right now rather than our desire, our fear, our preferences. Meditation is our way of doing this, practicing this, developing this ability. So, I was speaking before about detaching from the outside world. To detach from the outside world, we began meditation practice by putting the body down. And it's similar to how we put the body down when we want to go to sleep. We want to fully let go. We want to fully detach from the outside world. But in this case,
Your microphone's off.
still having connection issues.
Yes.
It might help to turn your video off. Sometimes the reduced bandwidth is better.
Okay.
I don't know if it's gonna help or not. Oh, he's gone.
Okay, we can try to do that. We'll see how it goes. So we start any meditation practice by putting the body down. So find your meditation position. Find a comfortable and stable position in which to detach from your body interacting, acting, and receiving interactions in the outside world. And instead, right now, putting the body down. Finding a comfortable and stable position in which to practice meditation. So finding our meditation position, the body can naturally become calm and still. We find a balanced, stable, simple position. We put the body down. And at that time, we pick up our meditation method. So the meditation here is to follow the breath as it flows in through your nose, goes down your throat, neck, into the chest, the lungs, all the way down into the belly. Feeling the breath flow in and flow out. Aware of each and every moment, each and every aspect of the breath flowing in and flowing out. Giving your full attention, your full interest, your full presence, not to the story of your life, not to your preferences and your desires about your life, but to this moment by moment experience of the breath flowing in through your nose, flowing into your body, filling up your lungs, your stomach, and flowing out. Breathing in, you know you are breathing in. Breathing out, you know you are breathing out. Meditation is not the time to get what you want. Getting what you want is how we burn down the rainforest, how we selfishly try to chase down our desires, harming ourselves and harming other people in the process. Meditation is not about getting what you want. It is about detaching from the importance that you give to your desire, to your preferences, to your thinking. And instead, giving your sincere interest to the meditation method. That is, at this moment, to be sitting in a simple, stable, comfortable position and following the breath as it flows in and flows out. At this moment, just sitting here. Following the breath as it flows in and flows out. Detaching from this importance that we give to our thoughts, preferences, distractions. Notice and be aware of all aspects of your experience. And allow all aspects of your experience to be a reminder to return, to come back to this practice of just sitting here, following your breath with your awareness, your attention, following your breath as it flows in and flows out. So we are practicing to face and be with what's happening right now. And our tool, our way of facing and being with what's happening right now, is the meditation method. This meditation method is the way of looking, turning towards again and again the direct experience of what is happening right now. So we get distracted, the mind gets complicated, we feel we want to give up, we want to go and do something else, meditation's not working, I can't meditate, it's not right for me, I tried, I gave it my best, I tried to focus on my breath for 3 minutes. All that happens, all that comes up, whether you're new or you're experienced. At that moment when you find yourself to be involved in this complicated thinking, this judgment, this need to do something else, simply return, refresh, restart, rely again on your body just sitting here, experiencing the whole body just sitting here, and following the breath as it flows in and flows out. Just breathing and being aware. Be willing to give up your mind of making a judgment, making a decision. Be willing to give up your mind of good or bad. Instead, simply emphasizing breathing and being aware. Relying on breathing and being aware. And try to enjoy and appreciate this freedom of no choice. You don't need to figure it out. You don't need to solve it. You just need to breathe and be with what's happening right now in the most sincere and gentle way that you can. So at this moment, everyone is invited to open their eyes if they are closed. You can take a moment to stretch and massage your face and your head. It's not about intensity. It's not about having a special meditation experience. It's about your willingness to show up again and again and again to this moment, this experience in the present. And that is to face life, to face this moment, and be willing to detach, be willing to put down what you get wrapped up in or what you hold on to, whether it's an idea or a feeling in the body or a relationship or a cat or a judgment, a preference that you have about something you experience. You have to be willing to put that down, to let that go, because whatever we get, whatever we hold on to, whatever we get involved with is inherently and fundamentally impermanent. So we cannot hang on to it. But when we try to hang on to it, we tie ourselves up in knots. And we really create a very difficult situation for ourselves when we are not willing to let go. And we are just always running around trying to find something to hang on to. So I'm going to read a little excerpt from this book called Cloud and Water, from a Buddhist monk from Taiwan, from China. It's really wonderful wisdom and teachings here. So I encourage everyone to listen up, and I may add some commentary and some of my own view as I read through this. So listen closely. When adversity comes, it may be a cause of benefit. Think about that. When adversity comes, when difficulty arises, it may in fact be a cause, be a means for experiencing benefit in your life. When worldly friendships grow cold, spiritual friendships open up. So when worldly friendships based on I think my internet might be having some difficulties again. When worldly friendships grow cold, spiritual friendships open up. So when relationships based on some kind of exchange of, you look very beautiful, so I will be nice to you, or I will let you live with me, or you are treating me nicely, so I will treat you nicely. This kind of relationships based on some kind of material exchange, or I give you this and you give me that. So when those kind of relationships grow cold, or when they disappear, they go away from our lives, spiritual friendships open up. So that is friendships based in this kind of open-hearted intimacy of non-transaction. And this is a Dharma friendship or spiritual friendship. Why should one compete with others in the world of dreams? Let the body and mind go, and then one will see the world of truth. This poem deals with two issues. First, when we have the willpower but lack physical ability, how should we face setbacks? When there is adversity, how do we deal with it? Adversity actually can be seen as a beneficial condition. So if you find yourself to be joining a meditation group, if you find yourself to be facing adversity, this is actually can be and is a beneficial condition. The dangerous cliffs and mountains are a heaven for mountain climbers. The ever-changing sky is a paradise for aviators. When there is adversity, we learn to be cautious, thinking of ways to overcome it. Adversity gives us the opportunity to transform a difficult situation into a beneficial environment. Second, in human relationships, we generally wish that others would treat us warmly. When we are faced with coldness, we may feel bad and get upset. Actually, this should come as no surprise to us. Worldly relationships are fickle and change suddenly as our situations change, while relations based on spiritual practice and the Dharma endure. Dharma is the spiritual teachings, wise guidance for skillful living. So worldly relations based on you do this, so I like you, or you look like that, so I like you, etc. This kind of transactional relationships are fickle, meaning they are small-minded. And they change suddenly as our situations change, as our appearance changes, as our mind changes, as our financial situation changes. These relationships change quickly. While relationships based on spiritual practice, such as facing adversity, training the mind, listening to wisdom teachings, relations based on spiritual practice and the Dharma endure. They are not so fickle, not so easily to be discarded, not so easy to find a way out, find some excuse to give them up, right? Because they're not based in getting what I want and avoiding what I don't want. They are based in this moment, this unquantifiable, non-intellectual, direct experience, this human experience that we are all having. So it's not so easy to say, well, I don't believe in that, or I don't like that. It is what's happening right now. In the early Buddhist text, instructions pertaining to the royal samadhi of contemplating the Buddha, it teaches us the following. Do not wish not to get sick. If there is no sickness, it is easy to become greedy. In handling affairs, do not wish for lack of difficulties. If there are no difficulties, it is easy to become proud. In understanding and exploring the mind, do not wish for a lack of obstacles. If there are no obstacles, whatever we learn will be of little value. In cultivation, do not wish for a lack of boundaries, hindrances to that cultivation, to that development. Without hindrances, our sincere aspirations cannot be firm. Our sincere intentions, our sincere wishes for how we want to be embodied in our own lives and how we want to be embodied in how we affect other people's lives cannot be firm, cannot be deep, doesn't have depth. So those hindrances, those boundaries allow our vows, our promises, our sincere wishes, intentions to be firm. In work, do not wish to succeed easily. If things come too easily, we will not develop perseverance. In making friends, do not use the friendship for your own benefit. It is unethical to take advantage of a friendship for personal gain. In dealing with others, do not expect them to yield to you all the time. When others continually yield to your wishes, your arrogance will grow. When being charitable, do not expect it to be returned. If we expect to be paid back, we have an ulterior motive and are no longer practicing altruism. Or maybe we can say we're no longer practicing sustainable generosity. Do not expect to share in others' profits. If we expect to share in others' profits, our craving will be stirred. Do not seek vindication when you are wronged. If you seek vindication, your hatred and anger will grow. On the surface, these 10 points seem to represent adversity, but actually they give us beneficial opportunities. In facing adverse conditions, we are able to improve ourselves. These 10 points refute normal ways of seeing human relations and bring us closer to living in accord with the Dharma, the skillful teachings. This is why the poem says, "Why should one compete with others in the world of dreams?" We have to let go of our body and mind, let go of our attachments and delusions, and only then will we see a clear world. Only then will we see the universe. Okay. So, as we get involved in this journey, meditation practice, spiritual development, we want to be more chill, we want to be more based, we want to have more peace, happiness, sweetness, joy, freedom, okay? The adversity, the difficulties are beneficial. They are essential. And if you don't have them, you need to find a way to have them. And when you find a way to have them, you need to appreciate them. These are your opportunities to deepen, to grow, to develop, period. So this is why when we practice meditation, it's important that we don't bite off more than we can chew right at the beginning, because we are going to become quickly discouraged. We're going to run away like mice who have been seen, and then we will not continue to invest in the path, in the practice. And this path and this practice is all about consistency. It's not about eating a big bowl of cheese once. It's about finding your way in the darkest nights to a little bit of cheese every day so that you can sustain your spiritual life and your development more and more. Okay, let's hear some questions, especially from Jacob. I want to know, Jacob, what your question is, and also we can share some experiences. Anyone want to ask a question or share an experience? How about Justin? You look like you're ready to share something, Justin.
So actually, I have a question for you. I'm still relatively new to this. And I guess I was wondering what your experiences are with things like temptation or I guess experiences that might try to draw you away from the path.
Yeah, we're having this all the time, whether it's beer or overeating or too much coffee or too much TikTok or too much YouTube. This is what our society runs on. is distracting experiences that lead us to overindulgence and overconsumption, and then we feel sick from it. So I also experienced that in my life. And what I recognize is that at the end of the day, these things are to be used only. Coffee is to be used only. Eating is to be used only. Even if I find myself to be on a TikTok or watching a YouTube or something, it's to be used only. Picked up, experienced, and put down. We need to have a clear recognition in our life that these overindulgent activities do not work. They are not establishing peace, happiness, freedom in our life. So we use them for the purpose of development, advancement, and then we put them down. And as we use anything in that way. And when we find that we have a habit of getting involved in activities that do not in any meaningful way support our benefit, development, and advancement, we remember that the next time we get involved with them. And then we may put them down quicker. And moving forward, if we can practice like that, that remembering, that allowing the maybe having an internet connection issue here, having those defilements or those hindrances or the momentum of those habits to actually become reminders for your own wisdom. So you find yourself in the conditions, the causes and conditions come together where you are kind of getting involved in an activity that isn't good for you. The next time that those causes and conditions come together and you feel that you are about to get involved in that activity or that consumption, you remember, you recognize, even though you might not be able to stop it, you recognize that this, in the end of the day, this is not working. This does not work. Overeating does not work. Drinking beer does not work. Overemphasizing sexual experiences doesn't work. So you'll be less enamored, less enchanted by that practice. And over time, you can take more and more steps away from it. You can detach more and more from that practice simply because you know it doesn't work. It's never worked. And in doing that, you also need to get involved in more activities of it's been a heck of an internet day. You need to get more and more involved in activities of doing good deeds. You need to get more and more involved in activities like this: meditation, studying wisdom teachings, listening to talks from wisdom teachers. We have a lot of resources in the server for that, and Get Started channel and the resources channel. So doing more and more good deeds and practicing restraint. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, Jacob, it's your turn.
My question was actually similar to that one. You covered it pretty well. But yeah, I just wanted to say that like I respond really a lot to what you're saying because I struggle with overindulgence and just getting caught in that like loop of instant gratification and just being confused of like, okay, this isn't like my brain is hardwired to be like instantly gratified by any effort. So like it just causes a lot of confusion and suffering. So yeah, that you kind of already covered it. So thank you.
Yeah. We need to learn how to not be confused by confusion. Our confusion is the reminder to do good deeds, to get involved in doing something that helps. And the intention is what makes that a good deed. Why are you doing it? Well, you're not doing it because it tastes good, feels good, whatever. You're doing it because it's something that's helpful. You have a wish to help, and you're doing something from that wish. Anyone else have a question?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, thank you for this group. It's been great. That was a great meditation. I've been meditating on and off and with a few different groups, but I have trouble with what you mentioned, consistency. You know, I'll go for a couple of days or a week or so, and then, you know, slack off or just, you know, it's been inconsistency is the biggest issue, I guess. What would you suggest, you know, for that kind of situation? Thank you.
Yeah. What I suggest is be consistent in some kind of generosity. So with your ways and means, whatever they happen to be, prioritize being a generous person, doing acts of generosity. Secondly, take the precepts. Remember the precepts. Reorient your mind and your life around precepts instead of, well, this is going to taste good and feel good and then whatever, because it doesn't work, right? The alcohol doesn't work. Cigarettes don't work. Whatever it is, it doesn't work. So you're orienting your life around those things, and not you necessarily personally, but this is what people do. And you're surprised that, you know, you can't be consistent or that it's not working. You know that it doesn't work. Alcohol doesn't work to bring peace into our lives. So instead of emphasizing trying to do activities that lead to a dopamine rush, emphasize continuing your following of the precepts. Okay, and in Buddhism we have the 5 precepts, which are not too difficult to follow.